you summon that from? I mean, we're talking about a 4,000-year dead Greek guy. You can't exactly call him on the phone and interview him. How did you come up with that voice?
I think that was also part of the 10 years, is that about 5 years into the process of writing this, I had a complete draft told from Patroclus' perspective, and I ended up throwing it out completely and rewriting from scratch. And part of what I was really looking for is that I felt I had the character and I felt I had the story, but I didn't quite feel like I had the voice. And what I wanted for the voice was, I sort of feel like I was coming from this epic perspective, that Homer's Iliad is an epic poem, and it's about epic ideas of war and gods and fate, and sort of set on this, huge scale. And what I realized is that Patroclus himself is actually not an epic person, that he is really much more from the vein of, in the ancient world, it would be called lyric poetry, of the poetry which is, the poetry of friendship and of kind of personal emotion and small daily beauty. It's not on the grand scale. And so what I realized is that I needed to give him a lyric voice. And once I kind of understood that, it started flowing. And I feel like this is also where my theater really came in handy, because I was used to listening to people's voices and trying to summon them into characters on the stage. I also direct theater. And so I think the combination of those two things came together, and that's sort of how I found the voice.
Going off of that, was it always first person? Did you always hear it? Did you always hear his voice in first person, or did you ever contemplate when you threw out that first one, doing it in third? Because that would be a very, I am the storyteller coming out this big story and tackling it as omniscient, which you didn't. You did first, which is, I wondered if that always was first.
So the question is, was it always written in first person, or had I experimented with third person? By the way, this is the lovely Sarah McCoy, who read here earlier. So it was always first person. That actually, when I sat down to write it for the very first time, I had just graduated from college, and I had this completely life-changing experience, which is that my senior year of college, a friend of mine had said, "Hey, do you want to direct this production of Troilus and Cressida with me?" And Troilus and Cressida is Shakespeare's Trojan War play. And I said yes, even though I knew nothing about Shakespeare or directing plays at all. But I felt like I knew the Trojan War, so at least I could bring that. Doing that production was just incredible. So here I am in the morning, and I'm meeting with Achilles, and I'm talking with him about his motivations. And then I'm meeting with Agamemnon about her costume. Our Agamemnon was a female, by the way. And her parents are actually in the audience, so she was great. She's one of my best friends. But doing all that just completely blew my mind, because it was the first time I had really interacted with these stories in an active way, and not just kind of reading them on the page. And so when that experience ended, I found myself feeling really bereft, that I still really wanted to tell this story. And and it was Achilles and Patroclus, whose story I most love. And by the way, Troilus and Cressida, if any of you have ever seen it or read it, if you are Iliad myth lovers, I would totally recommend it. It is so great. It is angry and funny and really dark. It is a fabulous. I mean, Shakespeare really does not like the Greek leaders. He lets them have it, all of them. So I can totally recommend that. But it was almost like a trance. I sort of sat down in front of my laptop and opened it, and Patroclus